Have you ever seen someone that looks very good at the game, but you might think they're cheating? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be teaching how you can do checks without having to have a mod checker or anything else. So let's get into it. So the first check will be for world scale. So if you're on Steam, there's this one setting that's called that's called world scale, and if you put it on, it'll make your arms longer. But I'm on Quest, so I cannot do that. But if you see someone that's very tall or has their arms fully extended, and they sound young, or like if they have fully extended arms, just tell them to take off. If they have like the cat ears as their hat, you don't need to tell them to take off their hat. But if they have like Santa hat on, you're probably not. It's probably going to be a little hard to see. So tell them to take off their hat and put their hands on their head. If their hands are floating off their head like this, that means they're cheating. That means they're using world scale. If they're not using world scale, their arms will be on top of their head, not floating up. And if they touch the front of their head, they're gonna pass no matter what. And if they touch the back of their head or the side of their head, they're going to pass no matter what. So tell them to touch the middle of their head, not the front, or the back, or the sides. So yeah, that's how you do the world scale check. But if they're on Pico, you are not going to be able to check them because they will pass the world scale check no matter what. So you're going to have to use a little bit of that head of yours to check them. So you can see if they're like this tall and they're like, "Hey, what's up? I'm not cheating." If they're like that tall and they're like sound like that, then they're definitely cheating on Pico. But if they're like, "Yo, I'm not cheating. I'm on Quest." If they're like that, then they're definitely not cheating. I don't know how to make a deep voice because my vocal cords aren't that good. I can do this voice though. It's pretty deep. What if they're like this? Well, yeah, that's how I do world scale check for any headset. Also, if you are using world scale, don't use it because it is very bannable. And also, if they say they're on 100% world scale, that does not mean they're cheating, because 100% world scale is just their normal arm length. The lower the world scale is, the lower they put the world scale at, the longer their arms will be. So the lowest they could go is 10% of world scale. So yeah. So if they say that I'm on 100% world scale, don't say, "Yo, you're cheating because 100% means you're super long. Arms are super long." That's not cheating. That's not cheating at all. What cheating would be is if they're at like 50%, anything below 100%. So even 95% is bannable, 98%, 99. See, you can, if you even put your arms at 90, if you put a world scale at 99% and put it at extreme, your arms will be like this long. Well, just don't use world scale if you're on Steam because it's highly bannable. And yeah, so that's how you do world scale check. So let's get into the next check. Wait, why am I taking off my hat? If you see someone that's very very fast, and they're like sticking to the ground no matter what, like even if they jump. So even if they jump and they're holding their triggers are like this, and they jump and they stick to the ground like that, that means they're cheating. Just see that. So if you want to do a check like for it, here's a few checks for it, and that's also called pull mod. Pull mod is like makes you, if you like press one of your joysticks or like one of your buttons, or if you press one of your triggers, one of your buttons, or put an entire fist, and then you'll start like moving forward. So here's how you can do a few of the checks. There's a lot of checks for pull mod, so let me teach you how to do it. So first, come to this hill behind double walls. Then tell them to run straight and take a 90-degree turn and go up. If they lose their momentum, and also make sure they're holding all their buttons or triggers. And if they tell them to run up, so you have to tell them to run straight, take a 90-degree turn, and run up as fast as they can. And if they run and they lose their momentum, that means they're using pull mod. So that's one of the checks for it, but the other one is this. So you come to Gazebo right here. Tell them to hold all of their buttons and go. They have to be low to the ground and then go up. And make sure if they move forward at all, that means they're cheating. That means they're using pull mod. So like if you're on quest, you might move forward a little bit. But see, low, I don't move too much. But you will move a little bit. But if you move like from here all the way to the table, or to this like here all the way to this crack, or to the table, then they're definitely, oh crap, I opened my menu. Then they're definitely using pull mod. But if they just move slightly forward, like from this part all the way just to here, that might just be tracking. But if they move forward and they go all the way to the crack, then definitely they're using it. And the third way to check for pull mod is to tell them to run from this hill and jump, and then run as fast as you can. So and they tell them to hold all their triggers for all of these pull mod checks. And if they stick to the ground when they're doing that check, if see, when you run, and like you run like that, you're gonna stay you're gonna move up a little bit. So because you move up, my finger's hurting, but because you move up, that means if you have pull mod, you'll stick to the ground no matter what. But if you don't have pull mod, you'll stay up, so you can jump up. So yeah, that's how you do pull mod check. So let's get on to the low hertz check. If you see somebody that looks that's can do walls super good, and you think they might be using low hertz, tell them to stick their arms out and shake their head. And if they sink into the ground, that means they're using low hertz. And anything under 60 hertz is bannable. And also, if you're on Quest 3, like any Quest headset from Steam Link or a virtual desktop, if you're using Steam on any Quest headset, it's impossible to get 60 hertz. So if you see somebody that's on 60 hertz and they're on Quest Steam, that means they're cheating, because the lowest hertz you can go on Quest is 72 hertz. So yeah, so if the only other way you could get 60 hertz for Quest Steam is Vita control panel. I think it's either video control panel or Vita control panel. I think it's Vita control panel. Well, but if they did it like that, that means they're definitely cheating. That means they're definitely using the world scale, because not world scale. If they have 60 hertz, the only way it's bannable if they use Vita control panel, because it's an unauthorized way of getting low hertz, and also because it's a way you could get low hertz. It's a way you could get lower hertz, even if your headset doesn't support that amount of hertz. So it's forcing your headset to a lower hertz. So that's very valuable too. So that's the low hertz check. Also, you tell them to shake their head, and if tell them to shake their head. That's the main part. So yeah, let's get into the last check. Actually, the last two checks. If you see someone that's running and they're like running super weird, like their arms are like glitching out when they're running, tell them to put their arms here, right where their name is, and shake it up till where their eyes. And if their arms like go like lag out and flick far, like if they flick up like to here, that means they're using preds or predictions. And that helps you move a lot faster. So like it helps you stick to the ground. Like, and also one thing you could do is tell them if they're using predictions. It's super funny. If they're using prediction, just tell them to branch. If you're using predictions, it's super hard to branch. So yeah. So if you're doing like they when they're trying to scale up here, they'll be like that. They'll be like do, 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 da, da. So it's like super funny. Like look, they'll be like this. They'll be like this. So funny when you just see them. It's just so funny. I'm not lying. So yeah, the last check is wall walk check. So come to the wall and come to either this wall or any wall, and tell them to press all their buttons and try to walk up, and just tell them press all your buttons. Tell them try to walk up the wall. And if they don't walk up the wall, that means they're not using wall walk. But if they do start walking up the wall, that means they're definitely using wall walk. So yeah, that's how you do checks in 2026 February. And they all work, but some of them might not, because of 6-7. Nah, I'm joking. Some of them might not work because it just doesn't. So yeah, that's how you do checks. And so that's how you do checks. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you found this video helpful, please comment down below and tell me. So yeah, bye bye.